Before visiting Taiwan, we didn't really know what to expect. 4 days, winter season, first time in southern Taiwan, and honestly, we thought, this should be nice. But Kaohsiung ended up being one of those cities that quietly wins your heart. So today I'm sharing 15 things I wish I knew before visiting Kaohsiung, Taiwan. One thing I'm so glad we did before landing in Kaohsiung was getting an easy card. We ordered ours online through Klook, picked it up right at the airport, and it made arrival so smooth. We also got complimentary coffees that came with the Easy Card purchase, which after a flight just felt like such a nice welcome. You can find more details about this in the description below. Now here's something important we didn't realize at first. You can actually use your credit or debit card with contactless payment on most of the MRT. You're just gonna tap and go. And because of that, we only bought one Easy Card between us. And that worked perfectly at first. We stayed near Formosa Boulevard, so we were in and out of the MRT constantly. We passed through the Dome of Light every single day on our way back to the hotel, and just having the tap and go access made moving around feel completely effortless. But, and I'll explain this more later, that one card decision is exactly what caused a little confusion for us on the LRT toward the end of our trip. So just keep that in mind. Your Easy Card works on the MRT, LRT, buses, ferry, and even for renting U-bikes, which locals use all the time. They're everywhere, super affordable and perfect for short distances. We also rented a motorbike on our first day to explore farther out, but on days we didn't, public transport had us fully covered. And if you don't order ahead, that's totally fine. You can buy Easy Cards at 7-Elevens and Family Mart. Some of them are so cute. They have like these anime themes, fun designs, and in my opinion, super souvenir worthy. It sounds like a small thing, but once you have transport figured out, Kaohsiung just feels easy. Now, speaking of places that surprised us, the food in Kaohsiung caught us off guard, especially in places we didn't really expect at all. This is something we learned on day one and then kept coming back to the entire trip. In Kaohsiung, and I'm sure all over Taiwan, 7-Elevens and Family Marts aren't just grab and go. They're places people actually sit down and eat. Most of them have tables and chairs, and we use them way more than we expected, especially when we wanted something quick, warm, and affordable without committing to a full restaurant. It was such a nice surprise knowing you could buy your food, get it warmed up right there, and sit comfortably to eat. No need to look for seating outside or just eat standing in a corner somewhere. And the food, surprisingly good. Some of our absolute must-tries are papaya milk, so flavorful and so good. Clam pesto pasta had the perfect garlicky pesto flavor. There was Assam milk tea. There's black sesame xiaolongbao from Family Mart. Chef's kiss. Tuna and soft boiled egged mashed potato sandwiches. And Kieran's winter limited tea. This was so Japan coded. It brought back memories of us traveling to Nikko in autumn. These became our go-to spots for breakfast, late nights, and easy meals when we just wanted something quick and filling. If you're feeling overwhelmed by night markets or jet lagged, convenience stores are such an easy reset. We learned pretty quickly that night markets in Kaohsiung all have very different energy, and that matters way more than we expected. Because we stayed near Formosa Boulevard, Louis Night Market became our go-to. We walked through it almost every night, sometimes just to browse, sometimes to eat, and sometimes just to soak in the atmosphere. The thing about Louis is it's more laid back. The lanes are wider, it's easier to walk through, and feels less chaotic, which honestly made it perfect after a long day of exploring. And then there's Rifeng Night Market. Rifeng is louder, denser, and way more intense. In a fun way though. There's so much food variety, tighter lanes, more energy, and it feels like a local favorite. So if you're coming hungry and ready to try a bunch of things, this is the one. We loved both, but for different reasons. If it's your first night in Kaohsiung and you're tired or jet lagged, start with Louis. Save Rifeng for a night when you're feeling more energized and want the full night market chaos experience. Also, bring cash and share dishes so you can try more things without filling up too fast. And if you're planning your own trip, we've linked the full Kaohsiung blog post in the description. It has Google Maps, hotel recommendations, and all the logistics laid out so you don't have to overthink any of it. Kaohsiung completely changes once you to slow down near the water. I think Kaohsiung's highlight has to be their waterfront. We spent an evening walking along the Love River. People were out jogging, couples were walking, friends were sitting around talking. Nothing felt chaotic or rushed. It just felt normal and comfortable. So from there, we kept on ending up at the Pier 2 Arts Center. It's an old harbor area that's been turned into a creative space with huge outdoor art installations. And we didn't follow a route or anything. We just walked around and stopped when something caught our eye. That day, we happened to be there during their annual immigrant cultural event, which we didn't even know was happening. There were colorful dances, music, and booths from different countries sharing their art and culture, and it wasn't planned, but it ended up being one of the cooler things that we did. At night, the waterfront looks completely different. Seeing the Kaohsiung Music Center lit up with neon lights across the harbor was something we kept stopping for. It's one of those views that looks even better in person. We also walked across the Great Harbor Bridge, which was such a highlight for us. It's the first horizontally rotating landscape bridge in Taiwan and the longest cross-port rotating bridge in all of Asia. We just liked walking it at night and seeing the harbor from that angle. If you go around 7 p.m., you'll see it rotating. Right next door is KW2, which is a great spot to stop for a coffee or a bite. It's a bit more polished with cafes and restaurants, and the harbor views are really nice. Come here in the afternoon, walk around while it's still light, then stick around until night. You don't need a schedule for this area. This part of the city didn't feel like sightseeing. It just felt good to be here, and it's super laid back. But as modern and creative as Kaohsiung feels here, the city also has a spiritual side. This was one of the days that really stuck with us. We actually rented a motorbike to get out to the dragon and tiger pagodas at Lotus Pond, and I'm so glad we did. Riding through the quieter neighborhoods, feeling the city change as you move away from the center, it made the experience feel like a mini adventure and not just a stop on an itinerary, right? The dragon and tiger pagodas are easily the most recognizable image of Kaohsiung, but seeing them in person was way more fun than we expected. You're meant to enter through the dragon and exit through the tiger, which is said to turn bad luck into good. And whether you believe that or not, it's colorful, playful, and honestly, it's just really cool to experience. The whole Lotus Pond area feels open and relaxed. Locals were walking around, sitting by the water, chatting, taking photos. We were there on a slightly rainy day, and instead of ruining it, it made everything feel calmer. There was softer light, reflections on the water, fewer crowds. It was one of those slow, quiet moments that balance out all the busier sightseeing days, and we were still able to get some really good photos highlighting the pavilions. If you're comfortable riding, renting a motorbike gives you so much flexibility here. You can take your time, stop when something catches your eye, and just explore beyond just the pagodas. But if not, you can still get here by public transport and just expect a bit more planning. As beautiful as this was, it didn't prepare us for what we saw next, because Fo Guangshan completely blew us away. This was one of those days where everything just lined up. We started with the dragon and tiger pagodas, rode around Lotus Pond, and then kept going, rain and all, out to Fo Guangshan Buddha Museum. That ride was part of the experience. If you know us, you know we love slow travel. We don't love rushing or ticking off places from a list someone else made. We like giving days space to unfold. And this was one of those days where we weren't watching the clock, just moving at our own pace. It was raining on and off, but the motorbike company gave us complimentary raincoats and hairnets, which genuinely surprised us. We've rented bikes all over Asia and had never received that before. Such a small detail, but it made us feel really taken care of. The rental cost was around $12, the customer service was excellent, and everything felt easy and stress-free. I'll leave the motorbike rental link in the description if you want to do the same. Nothing prepares you for the scale of this place. Walking toward that massive seated Buddha, passing through the wide courtyards and quiet halls, it naturally slows you down. Even with other visitors around, it felt peaceful and super spacious. We spent all evening there until they closed, and it was that big that we still weren't able to see everything. Give yourself at least half a day here. This isn't something you just rush through. Whether you arrive by motorbike, bus, or tours, you'll want enough time to just walk, pause, and just take in the grand scale of the space. Sijin Island. Getting to Sijin Island is almost too easy. You take a short ferry ride like 5 minutes, and suddenly the city feels like far away. This place changes immediately. Once we arrived, we rented this cute electric bike and just started riding with no real plan. And that's honestly the best way to experience Sijin, although you will be given a map from the rental shop you choose to go with, so you're set, you're not gonna get lost. We rode along the coast, stopped whenever something caught our eye, and just let the day unfold. We saw people practicing Qigong by the black sand beach. We saw surfers out in the water. It was just so nice just standing there watching them surf. There were windmills spinning in the distance, locals flying their kites, and some of these kites were so huge, like the biggest ones we've ever seen in our lives. And the biggest oyster shell installation, which ended up being my favorite, so I spent a little bit more time there. It was so much fun zooming along the paved paths, hopping on and off the bikes, stopping for photos, then riding again. We met so many families and even locals just enjoying the scenery, and that always makes our day. Plan at least half a day here, a full day if you want to fully relax. Originally thought it would be a quick visit, and that was our mistake. Sijin is the kind of place you don't want to rush. It's the kind of day where you're not checking your phone, not checking the time. You're just there zooming up and down the pathway along with everyone else. So as I said earlier, we stayed near Formosa Boulevard Station, which meant we walked through the Dome of Light every single day. And even though it wasn't a surprise for us, it was still a visual treat every time. No matter how tired we were or how full we were after a night market, stepping into that station and looking up just made us pause for a second, you know. The colors, the scale, the way the light fills up the space. It just looks so nice. And I've seen people online downplay this dome, but does your home metro station have this or look as nice and clean as this? Most of the answers will probably be no. And it's also one of the easiest wow moments in the city because you don't have to plan for it. You're already there if you're using the MRT. If you're deciding where to stay, being near Formosa Boulevard is such a solid choice. It's a major transport hub. It connects multiple lines, and having something beautiful like this to be a part of your day routine just, adds to the experience, right? This was another thing that quietly stood out to us. Kaohsiung does public spaces really well. Parks don't feel forgotten or purely decorative. They feel used, cared for, and designed for everyday life. We spent time around the Railway Art District. It's the old train tracks turned into the really nice green space with huge art installations, and also Central Park. And since we were there in December, it had such a cozy winter feel. There were holiday lights, a giant Christmas tree, and people just hanging out, sitting, walking, taking photos, meeting friends after work. And the older locals were really friendly. They were really warm and inviting, and we talked to a few of them, and everyone warmly welcomed us. This was a really nice surprise for us. It felt like something the city actually does for its people, and that feeling shows up all over Kaohsiung. Wide sidewalks, shaded areas, benches in the right places, parks connected to the MRT stations. It makes walking around feel easy and comfortable, even if you're just wandering with no real destination. Kaohsiung feels incredibly safe, clean, and easy to navigate. This is something we noticed almost immediately, but it really hit us at night. We'd walk back and forth from night markets, take the MRT late, or just wander with no real plan, and Kaohsiung always felt comfortable. Clean streets, good lighting, people quietly going about their evenings. One night we were just walking around and ended up stumbling across Sanfeng Temple, also known as Sanfeng Temple, and it was glowing with rows and rows of red lanterns softly lit against the night sky. No crowds, no noise, just the calm, beautiful moment in the middle of the city. We don't love comparing places too much, but there were moments where Kaohsiung reminded us of how it feels to be in Japan. That same calm, orderly energy where things just work and people respect shared spaces. If you enjoy walking cities at night, Kaohsiung is such a good place for it. And some of the most beautiful moments happen when you're not really chasing anything, just walking around, letting the city show itself. And that feeling of calm and safety connects directly to the most unforgettable part of our trip, the people. Because we experienced the kindness here in such a way we never have in the US. This was the moment where Kaohsiung really got to us. One morning, we were sitting at a family mart, having breakfast, nothing special, just, one of those easy mornings where you grab food, sit down, and just take it slow. We were mid-bite when a local uncle sitting nearby stood up, walked over, and just handed us 2 huge coffees. We were honestly shocked. We actually have the moment on video. You can see him just walk over and hand them to us.
The coffee. That's the double 2. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh wow, we're so grateful. Oh, thank you so much.
My name is James.
Waseem.
Wesley.
Yeah.
Is California area?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
San Francisco, nice
I'm James.
Nice to meet you.
I'm James. Surgeon. Doctor. Quite cool.
Doctor. Oh,
wow.
Dr. James.
Dr. James.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you.
Well, that was Dr. James, and he just bought us some coffees.
Yeah. 2 coffees from Dr. James, who's a Taiwanese, he's been here 70 years.
70 years.
70 years.
Taiwan hospitality at its
Yeah.
finest.
We're not expecting this. Wow.
Oh,
Well,
that is-
what an experience.
That is so sweet.
Yeah. Well, we're not expecting this at all.
We're super grateful.
Yeah.
It's just been a wonderful experience. We didn't expect Taiwan to be, or actually we're in Kaohsiung, so it's very different maybe from Taipei. We haven't been to Taipei. But my goodness, the people here are really friendly, open, they're kind of fun.
Big hearts.
And there was no agenda behind it. He wasn't trying to sell anything. He didn't want a thank you speech. He didn't even linger. It felt like something completely normal to him. And that's what stuck with us the most. You can visit beautiful places anywhere, but moments like that, they tell you everything about the people. And somehow, Kaohsiung wasn't done with us yet, because the very last day gave us one more moment we'll never forget. This happened literally minutes before we left for the airport. Our last day, we were at the Railway Art District, and we were already in the end of our trip headspace, trying to squeeze in one last moment before heading out. And we decided to take the circular LRT one last time to grab some Taiwanese tea with boba before going to the airport. Nothing dramatic, just, one last small thing, right? So we got to the ticket machine, and that's when it fell apart a little. We only had one easy card, and we couldn't use a credit card there, and we were short on change. We stood there for a bit, trying to, figure it out, a little stressed, a little rushed, and eventually we just gave up and stepped away. That's when a city worker uncle noticed us. He didn't just point at the machine or wave us off. He actually ran off on his own, asked strangers for change using his own wallet, came back, gave us the coins, and let us give him the bill, thank God. But by this point, the train had already arrived. The operator waited, the uncle stayed with us, helped us get the ticket, opened the gate, and made sure we got in. Then he just walked away like nothing happened, like no lecture or no, you should have known, or no expectation of anything back, just help. We stood on that train and didn't even know what just happened.
Oh, it's okay. No, wait.
It all happened so fast. We didn't get a chance to thank him properly or show our gratitude. And that was it. That was how Kaohsiung sent us off. We were just beyond speechless. This was something we only realized after we left. Kaohsiung isn't loud about itself. It's not constantly trying to show off or compete with other cities. It doesn't feel like it's begging for your attention. And somehow, that's exactly why it sticks with you. Nothing here felt forced. The art, the food, the public spaces, the temples, it all just, exists. It's the kind of city where you don't feel pressure to do everything. You can have a slower day and not feel like you're wasting your trip. We didn't leave feeling exhausted. We actually left feeling rejuvenated. If you like destinations that let you breathe, Kaohsiung is that place. You don't need to overplan it for it to be good. It just is. Overall, Kaohsiung felt really affordable, but there are 2 things worth flagging. For the most part, Kaohsiung is easy on the wallet. Food, transport, coffee, bubble tea, night markets, none of that felt expensive, and we never felt like we were getting tourist pricing. That said, there were 2 things that stood out price-wise. The first was the motorbike rental. It cost about $12 for 12 hours, which isn't crazy, but it was one of the more expensive single expenses we had for the day as compared to motorbike rentals here in Thailand. That said, the service was great, the bike was in good condition, and they gave us complimentary raincoats and hairnets that we got to take home. The second, and this one surprised us, was the electric bike rental on Sijin Island. Those were around 500 NTD, which is around $16 for just 2 hours, which felt pretty overpriced. It's kind of expected in touristy island areas, but it's still something to know ahead of time. If you want to keep costs down, regular bikes or U-bikes are the better deal, and you can save the electric bikes for convenience and not value. Outside of those two things, we never really thought about money, and that made the trip way more relaxed. This is the one thing I wish I knew before going to Kaohsiung: how easy it would be to navigate the city, how calm we felt moving through it, and how often strangers showed up for us without expecting anything back. That breakfast coffee at Family Mart, that uncle helping us get on the LRT when we were clearly stressed, and those moments are what we remember the most. We went for a short city break and we left with our hearts full. If you're planning your trip, we've linked our full Kaohsiung blog post in the description with maps, hotel recommendations, and all the logistics to help you plan without overthinking it. And if you've been to Kaohsiung or if you're planning to visit, what's the one thing you're most excited to experience? Let us know in the comments below. If this video helped you, give it a like, subscribe for more honest travel stories, and we'll see you in the next one.